Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Smooth Talks with Ryan Cox, your one-stop nerd shop. I am Ryan Ryco Cox, and today I have another meeting with somebody who had an experience in Peru with ayahuasca. Her name is Pamela Soto. Did I say that right?
Pseudo.
Pseudo. I'm sorry. You could ask. You could ask Anthony. I mispronounced his last name about 3 times in my last video. Suto. So Pamela, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, Pamela Pseudo. I'm a mommy military wife from Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Awesome. And I'm from Nevada, so I'm actually using a different program than I'm used to when it comes to recording these things. So it's kind of a learning experience for me and you, Pamela. So it's kind of exciting.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So tell me a little bit about yourself, or tell everybody about yourself. Why were you interested in the alternative medicine? Is there a reason that you got interested? Was there a reason that you needed it?
I didn't think that I needed it. I was mostly just curious about it. One of my friends went to a ceremony in Vegas, and I ended up visiting her about 3 months afterwards, and she was just glowing. It was beautiful, and I was like, oh, medicine did this for you, huh? Well, I'd try it. And then we kind of just went from there.
Okay. Have you always been kind of like the adventurous type? Well, you said you were military. Have you always been kind of the adventurous type? So you saw something that worked for somebody else and you were excited to try it yourself?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I moved to Japan when I was 17 as a foreign exchange student on a whim. And since then, it's kind of how I've made most of my decisions most of my life. So
Just kind of on a whim. If your instincts tell you to do something, they're probably right.
yep, exactly.
So you said your friend had an ayahuasca experience or a ceremony in Vegas, and so it gets you interested in going to Peru. How did you meet up with John? How did you meet up with with this shaman?
I actually met up with John because of my friend. She had all of his information, and she said, I want to take you out to Peru, and I want you to try ayahuasca. And I was like, okay, sure, let's go. All right. And then I was like, but wait, I need to know where he lives. I need to know that he's not just some,
Random dude that's just I talked to Anthony a little bit about that too. Like, what did you know, what did you expect when you got there? I mean, you're in Peru, you said you moved to Japan, so you might be familiar with like foreign lands, but I had to ask Anthony the same thing. How do you know that this person's not just going to take you into some shack in the woods?
Well, and yeah, exactly. So I started asking her those questions, and I had so many of them that she was like, I don't really want to do this anymore and be the middleman. So I will just give you his number. You can talk to him. So I started working with him online and on the phone for about 6 months before I even went out. So there was a little bit of trust built up there. I met basically his daughter. And it kind of eased my mind that he was actually a real person, and
I absolutely understand. I do. I get it. In fact, I'm in contact with John right now. I've been going back and forth with him because I'm thinking about taking a trip up there myself and getting a chance to interview John personally. So I think that would be a lot of fun.
You'll have a blast.
I'm working on getting that going. So, any of you listeners, if you guys are excited for that, let me know, and I'll definitely try to speed that up as soon as I can. Pamela, before we get into it, we're just going to take a quick break so that, people can go grab their coffee, whatever they're going to do when they decide to listen to this, do their chores, whatever. But we'll be right back. All right, we are back, and I have Pamela Suto. I
Yes.
said that right. Yes, perfect. Yeah, second time. I'm so good. Um, so you were talking about ayahuasca, and what what did you expect to get from it?
I had no idea. I, I know that Anthony has said this to you at least once, and I know it's one of John's favorites. It's like trying to explain an orgasm to a post.
Yeah, to a tree. Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea. And one thing that I've learned when you go to travel someplace, I mean, it's one thing to say, oh, I want to try this type of food, or I want to go to this particular temple. That's great. But to build up expectations on what it's going to be like when you get there can be really dangerous because you can have a huge letdown.
Okay, I
So,
understandable. Don't over expect and don't under expect. Just kind of live in the moment.
yeah, be willing to receive whatever it
Okay.
is. Yeah.
Okay. Since you didn't really know what to expect, or you went there with no expectations. What was your experience like when you got there? I know you said that you met his daughter, and take me through that experience. How you got up to the mountain, and how things started happening, and things started to change.
So I got off the plane, and something that I didn't realize then, I found out later, the way the cab service works, like whoever comes out of the airport, the first cab driver in line has to basically convince that person to go. Otherwise, they have to go to the back of the line. So I had this cab driver, Miss, taxi, 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 just following behind me, just repeating it over and over again. And I was about ready just to slap him because I'm like, dude. And I said, no, I'm looking for a friend. I said it all in English because I don't speak that much Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kept following me. And I thought, oh my God, where is this guy? Why is it taking so long for him to show up? Maybe he's not here yet. I'm starting
Mm-hmm.
to panic. And then I see him. I make eye contact with him. I recognize him. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Hi, John.
Right. Sounds
um,
great. That sounds kind of like what I'm expecting when I get there. Just a bunch of, miscommunications, and just like, okay, where is this guy?
yeah. Yeah. And he was sitting there watching me. He saw me as soon as I walked out, and he was just watching me to see what I did and how I handled things. And he told me I looked lost.
Tell you what, you probably handled yourself better than I will. I just got to hope I don't start breaking down and crying like, oh God, where did I go? How did I get here? Type of thing. No,
Oh,
I won't
I
cry. Maybe.
I have two babies that I had to leave, or with my parent, or that I decided to leave. I didn't have to, but I decided to leave them with my parents. And if I didn't break down and cry and go, oh Jesus, what's happening? I'm sure you'll probably survive.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, that
yeah,
makes me feel a little bit better, but you're probably stronger than I am, so maybe not.
talk about yourself like that.
I'm
Please don't
just
talk about yourself like that.
I am just joking, Pamela. So you
Oh,
found John. He wanted to see how you would react to things. Um, so I know the hike to the mountain must have been, a little bit long. So
oh,
when
it was not as bad as Anthony's experience. It was dry, so we weren't walking in knee-deep mud or anything, and it was just a nice little walk. So it was not too bad.
Oh, okay, not too bad at all. Then that's actually good. So when did you go? I mean, what was the season like?
I went. Let's see. I went just last month, so it was the
Okay.
end of June into the beginning of July. And the season, it was like between 60s and 80s, and kind of sometimes it was humid, sometimes it was dry. There was a lot of fruit
Mhm.
on the trees and stuff, so you just walk outside and grab something to eat off the trees if you wanted to, and that was cool.
Awesome. How long did you stay up there?
uh 18 days.
Okay, so actually not even as long as Anthony, but you did experience your own fair share of ceremonies. So you decided to go check out ayahuasca, and I know trying to explain to me how it kind of affected you is again like explaining an orgasm to a tree. But can you take me through that experience? I mean, at least the best way that you can.
Yeah, absolutely. The ayahuasca that we used for the first ceremony that I participated in was actually the same stuff that Anthony had helped make when he was out there. So that was exciting because absolutely get to taste a bit of his energy. It was great. But ayahuasca ferments, and so it did have a little bit more of like an acidy, almost alcoholic taste to it.
Okay.
Which made it a little bit harder to get down, I'll be honest.
Well, it already sounded kind of hard to get down as it is.
John and I made a fresh batch before I left for my last ceremony, and I actually liked the taste. It was like a milky coffee with almost an earth flavor, but not like dirt, but like you know how some people like those really grassy shakes?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Kind
more
of
like
that.
Yeah.
Okay. So the ayahuasca. So you did the first ayahuasca experiment. It kind of tasted a little bit alcoholic because it fermented. So did you purge?
Oh yeah. Well, and actually, I rejected the medicine, which doesn't really matter because if it comes back up, you're still gonna get what you need from it.
Okay.
So, but yeah, within 10 minutes, I was just all over not all over the place, in my bucket where it belongs.
Where it belongs.
But yeah, and the first session for me was really, really mild. It was actually very relaxing and a bit like having a warm hug. Just an amazing, amazing experience. And but I mean, it was. I, in my teen years, may have experimented a bit with hallucinogens, and I would say it is one of the milder hallucinogens that I have tried. So,
okay, so ayahuasca is according to you. So, like, what would be? I mean, it does activate the DMT in your brain. So, I mean, I know DMT is a powerful hallucinogen, but you said, according to the other hallucinogenic drugs like out there, I mean, mushrooms and acid, those were probably more harsh than ayahuasca.
yeah, I would say so. And I mean, using those kind of things recreationally versus in a healing ceremony is also going to change your experience with it.
Okay.
I know of people who will like eat acid and go run to a bar, and it's not the same as you can use almost any of those substances in a nice ceremony, and you can get all sorts of healing stuff from them. But yeah, as far as the naked ladies, the beautiful lights, the lasers, whatever you want to call it, it's visual, but it was a bit. I found it to be a bit mild, so, and more of a. I don't know. It's on a different level.
Okay, I see. Well, we are going to take another quick break, and then we'll be right back, guys.
Fill me out with your smile, now the sunshine brings the light. Fill me out with a flame, I will let you in this game. Take me out when I'm down, 'cause with you I'm safe and sound, 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 safe and sound.
Welcome back, everybody. Again, I am here with Pamela Sudo, and we were talking about ayahuasca and her first experience, her first ceremony with ayahuasca. She mentioned it was mild, or more mild than some of the other hallucinogenic drugs out there. I know you had more than just ayahuasca ceremonies out there, because Anthony mentioned smoke ceremonies,
Yeah.
ayahuasca, and there's another one too. It's failing my memory right now. Can you? I'm sorry.
San Pedro?
San Pedro. That's it. So, did you experience those ceremonies as well? Were they any different, or what's
Yes.
going on with those?
Every ceremony is going to be different from time. I mean, even my ayahuasca ceremonies, I did 3 of them, and each one was different. You're fine. But yeah, each one of even the ayahuasca ceremonies was different. But excuse me.
Okay.
As far as the smoke ceremonies were some of my favorite. It's just, I know Anthony must have mentioned this. It's a very programmable plant. It's it's happy to work with you, and so you can get a lot done in a smoke ceremony.
He did mention that. The way you said it was perfect. Better than the way Anthony put it. Programmable plant is definitely a perfect way to put it. He mentioned that it'll give you exactly what you ask for as long as you're asking for it. So
yeah.
I understood what he said, but the way that you put it right now might be easier for more people to understand. It's a very programmable plant. If you just want to smoke it and relax and just chill out, it'll give you that. But if you really want to dive deeper, it'll give you that as well. So I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah. Well, and also if you're not careful and you're just doing it to do it and you're not thinking about the energy you're putting in it, you can make yourself paranoid or something like that. If you are picking up the plant and thinking, oh God, I hope I don't get arrested or I don't get caught or whatever. I'll smoke this bowl anyway, and then I'm going to sit here and think the cops are banging on my door. I mean, that's what's going to happen.
Right. I understand. What is San Pedro?
It's a cactus. And it's you can buy it at Home Depot. It's a very pretty cactus. It's usually just straight up and down green. It's got the little pokey guys on it. Just your very quintessential cactus.
Okay. And what does it do?
Well, the reason they call it San Pedro, it means Saint Peter.
Okay.
And it takes you to the pearly gates, or wherever you want to call that space. The gates of heaven basically is the idea. It's a very cosmic sort of experience. It's definitely like how ayahuasca is much more earthy of an experience. And I know this is probably not making sense, but to the people that understand, people will understand if they understand, and if they don't, they'll understand it later if they try it. But ayahuasca's earthy. San Pedro is very cosmic, and I found the experiences between them were, they work differently. I don't, San Pedro is much more visual.
Okay, so San Pedro is a much more visual experience. You get to, if I can, I don't really understand. I'll be honest with you.
All right.
I've never tried either of them, but from what I can from what I'm getting from you, it sounds kind of like ayahuasca is, well, when you drink it, you're almost connected to like yourself, your own energy, and maybe just you're connected to the earth, while San Pedro is kind of, there's no, like, basically it cuts the ties, and now you're kind of zooming out there, and you can, I guess the best way to put it, like you said, they call it St. Peter because you feel like, or you can see like the gates of heaven. So it's almost, it kind of like cuts that tie, if that makes any sense. Is that what it is, or am I misunderstanding?
Yeah, that's a very, very good explanation of it, I would say. I don't know that I would necessarily use the words cutting the ties, but I would say it raises you up a level, or it takes you out. But you're always connected. Well, yeah. It doesn't cut the tie. If you cut the tie to your body, of your soul and your body, then you die. So I would be careful with that word choice, you know?
Right. Okay. So maybe like an out of body experience.
Yes, exactly. It's a traveling type of thing. But one thing I noticed the difference between ayahuasca and San Pedro too is the way it works with you. Ayahuasca, I personally found easier to work with because I could kind of just sit and steer a little bit. I'd say, this is what I want to work on in ayahuasca. I'd be like, okay, let's go work on this. But here, I'm just going to throw this at you real quick. Okay, let's go. San Pedro was like, okay, San Pedro, this is what I want to work on. And San Pedro was like, no, we're doing this.
Right. So it's like, no, you don't know what you want. I'm going to tell you what you want.
Yeah, and both of all medicines deserve respect, but I would say that San Pedro spanked me. It definitely was like, no, you're gonna respect this. Like,
I get it. You know, and like I said, I want to talk to more people about it because I know everybody has different experiences, and so if you were to do it, if you were to, you know, you would do the ayahuasca again. Would you do all three of them over again if you had the chance?
Oh yeah, 100%. I told John with San Pedro, I'd like to revisit it when I've had a little bit of more time to remember and grow up spiritually. I don't think I was quite experienced enough personally to work with San Pedro. But I can see why, like, how people would like to work with it and so on and so forth, and the right personalities and stuff. But yeah, I would, every single one of them I would do over again. I would say the smoke ceremony, like I said, my favorite though. You would have to twist my arm to go back and do that again.
Right. Well, that sounds awesome. Now what has changed?
Well, it's like I've been doing a lot of gardening lately, so I'm going to use a gardening metaphor, and especially because ayahuasca and earth, and I'm just going to continue with it. So,
right, I dig it. It's fine.
So you take a sunflower seed. It's a sunflower seed, and you plant it, and it changes, but it's still a sunflower. From the time that it's a seed to the time that it becomes a flower, it's a sunflower. And I would say that on the mountain, it was like excellent fertilizer. I blossomed. I trimmed off a lot of the yellowing leaves, and I pulled a lot of weeds out of the garden of my soul, and allowed it to grow and just to really become me. So.
Okay, so before, I guess, so like you said before, you're still you. Like Anthony didn't completely change, but there is definitely a change in him. And there's, I'm assuming if I were to actually meet you, I would probably see, the same thing. Is that what you're getting at? So you're still you in a sense, but you're a more true version of yourself.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's pretty cool. I mean, considering most of the time, and today, most people aren't even honest with themselves, let alone other people. So, I want to thank you, Pamela, for, being on the show and, kind of sharing your experiences with them and, how you thought, they changed you. And it's really admirable because, like I said, not a lot of people can be honest and not a lot of people can, be open about, what they're doing with their life. So I do appreciate that. And I thank you.
No, thank you for letting me on your show to let people know about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I've been doing more and more research on it as well. It's crazy the amount of like how long it's been used. It goes back way. It goes back. It really does.
Yeah.
I mean, even back to like the 16th century, like it's hundreds of years old, probably even older than that. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy.
Yeah. Yes, I do know it.
Is there anything else that you would like to share about your experience? Any advice that you'd like to give anybody listening that might be interested?
Yeah, actually, so along the way, when you start walking down this path, whether it's because you're curious or because you're interested or because you really need some serious healing, you'll get it, but you need to make sure that you don't let anybody else bully you away from it or force you down a way that you're not comfortable. You, like you said, be honest with yourself. If it's something you honestly want to do, go for it, and don't let anything else be your excuse. There's no excuse to not do something other than I decided not to do it. So don't let people take your right to make a decision for yourself away from you.
Awesome. That goes both ways too. It's not, don't let somebody convince you not to do it, and don't let somebody convince you to do it. Be honest with yourself. Exactly. And if you really want it, go for it. But if you don't really want it, there's no need to force yourself to do it. I appreciate you saying that because, sometimes people can have, skewed perspectives, and, I do think that it could help a lot of people. And that's the whole reason that I'm interested in it, because I've seen what modern, not necessarily modern, but let's just say Western medicine has done for certain diseases. And I was talking with Anthony, and he was saying that, this can help a lot of people, even with cancer and things like that. And even John has an interesting story that I can't wait to hear about. So yeah, I appreciate you being on my show, Pamela. Any final thoughts?
No, I think I'm good. I could talk a little bit on what you brought up very, very lightly about the medical stuff, but it's all out there. If you research biogenealogy and just pick up a book on it, it explains why Western medicine is backwards.
Well, I mean, we still have a little bit of time. Is there any, what do you mean that Western medicine is backwards?
Well, they're treating symptoms. They're not treating what's wrong with it. And everybody seems to think, everybody talks about the obvious connection between your emotions, your emotional state, and your physical health. Mm-hmm. And there's 100% there's a correlation between it. Most scientists will say, well, it's the physical health affecting your brain or your soul or whatever you want to call it, because the brain is just a blob of fat, really. It's the energy that is going through your brain that is really, but that's besides the point. It's your emotions that are causing the issues with your body. Your body is just letting you know about the kind of stuff that you need to be working on. And there's only a few medical scientists who have actually been approaching it from that way. And those are the people who got into biogenealogy. So those are the people that talk about, you can pick up this book and almost guaranteed, you're like, oh, prostate cancer, did you lose somebody close to you, or, you know, a job or something like that? And it usually lines up with something like that. And once people process that, which is why ayahuasca is such an amazing medicine, because it does, it puts everything in your face and you deal with it, and you take the stuff that is you away from it and you let the other stuff go. And that's how you cure cancer and a lot of other illnesses, is just by dealing with what your body wants you to deal with.
Interesting. I mean, that goes further down, because everybody has cancer cells in them. You know, some people are more prone to it than others, but there's cancer cells in all of us. And I guess I get what you're saying when it comes to the emotions, because sometimes it activates and sometimes it doesn't. And they still haven't figured out what causes it to activate. So, you know, it very well could be linked to your emotions. It very well could be linked to, you know, as you say, the energy in your brain. So you said it was biogenealogy?
Yes, biogenealogy. You can there's articles about it on the internet. I have a book too. I wish I could remember the author, but I'm not even going to try right now. But yeah, there's a few books out there, and there's 3 or 4 different medical scientists who have looked into it and found pretty consistent data over like lifetimes of careers. They've been looking into it since the 70s. So it's not necessarily new or cutting edge, but it's just starting to come into the light now because of it's had enough data to start looking like actual proof. Yeah.
Getting enough data, and especially when it comes to, you know, alternative medicines, sometimes it takes longer because there's not enough data, because it worked for one person doesn't mean it's going to work for multiple different people.
And most scientists, especially medical scientists, they're working off of either a pharmaceutical company's money or grants. So all of that, the kind of questions they're asking, the kind of things they're going to research, are going to be geared towards Band-Aid, because that's where the money's at. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're going to be geared more towards treatment than actual curing it. Interesting, very interesting. Anybody who is interested in ayahuasca and, you know, I don't know if San Pedro is illegal, but it probably is. But remember that ayahuasca is illegal in the United States. So I'm not condoning the use of illegal drugs. I'm just saying that they are that anybody who's interested should look into that. Just look into the healing properties that it can offer you if you really are interested. What else? I was going to say something else, and now I've completely forgotten what I was going to say. Oh, yes. Also, this kind of this ties in with what I wanted to say. Don't do any of these treatments without a shaman, especially if you're inexperienced. Would you agree with me, Pamela?
100%. Yeah. Well, and like I told you, the recreational experience to the shamanic experience are wholly different anyway. So even using it just to do it, you're not going to get anything out of it, really. You're going to see some pretty lights and it's going to be done. Or you could seriously injure yourself or get lost. And so it's way better to have somebody who knows what they're doing with you through this process, because that's what John's trained to do. That's what John's been doing for 30 years. I mean, as a shaman, that's what Anthony and I are training to do, to be able to guide people. And so you just don't, you respect the medicine or it will spank you, basically.
Right. I get it. I just think, I think it just needs to be said, because sometimes people will get this idea, well, okay, I'm going to use it for the right idea and I'm going to use it for the right reasons. I'm going to use it medicinally, but because they don't have somebody leading that experience, they can still, it is still a powerful drug. It can still affect you. It can affect your brain in different ways. So if you are interested, I recommend that anybody who is interested looks it up and just be careful with it. do it for the right reasons, and seek out the help that you need. Seek out a shaman. You and Anthony are helping out people, so I want to get the word out as much as I can, not necessarily just about ayahuasca, but more, check out ayahuasca, and then go get the help from the people that actually know what they're doing. Don't just pick up ayahuasca one day and say, hey, I watched this video and I know what I'm doing.
Right. Well, and another thing too to consider for people, if you're interested in looking at, because ayahuasca, San Pedro, all of these medicines are energetic. They're for your soul. So if you're looking at trying to get, there are plenty of energy workers out there, people who will do things like, well, Reiki is one of them, but just in general, healing touch, any of that can be very helpful and is a good place to start, especially if you don't even you're not remotely interested in the substance, using any of the medicine.
Okay, understandable.
Or if you want to work up to it before you take a trip to Peru or whatever. If you can
exactly.
find a very experienced Reiki master or a energy worker who is, got a pretty good reputation, that's usually a good place to start.
Yeah, absolutely. I know a lot of them are frauds, so be careful. Like I said, I've met people who claim to be, energy workers, and I've seen it. It's some people will take advantage of your lack of knowledge. So I would say, just anybody, just do research so you can point out the frauds when you see them, because
an easy way to tell, honestly, is how they handle themselves. If a person is never doing anything for free, you can almost guarantee they're in it. Even if they have power, they're in it for the wrong reason, and you have to question whether you want that person working on you. But a good energy worker will sit with you and talk with you, and you should be able to tell in the conversation they're going to be a comfortable person. They're going to be the type of person that you want to tell everything about yourself to. You're not going to feel weird around them necessarily. It's those relaxing people. That's a telltale sign. If somebody makes you feel relaxed or makes you feel loved or makes you feel accepted,
mm-hmm.
that's a good sign for an energy worker.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. I can't tell you how many weirdos that I've met, at the bus stop trying to, pretend to be like this person. And I'm just like, you know what? Go away.
Well,
I'm really just messing with you, Pamela.
Well, and a true energy worker doesn't come up to you and say, I'm going to heal you. Someone, you shouldn't be looking for people to heal as an energy worker.
Yeah.
Kind of hang out and people say, you're a healer, I need this. And if the person feels like they need to ask, then the healer will heal, because it doesn't even matter if it's someone you hate, or I don't really hate anybody. I should say, if it's somebody I don't particularly like, maybe not their lifestyle or choices or whatever, I'm still going to love them.
Right.
Because I don't have to like everybody, but I do have to love everybody, because that's just the way energy works. And they will heal. A good energy worker will heal anyone that asks, period.
That is absolutely awesome. So that's a great way to determine, whether or not they know what they're talking about and whether or not they're frauds. So again, Pamela, I thank you so much. Super enlightened. I honestly have no other questions. It was awesome to get a chance to talk with you, and I thank you for sharing your story and your information on this alternative medicine and this energy healing process. So I do thank you very much.
Great. Awesome.
All right, guys, that'll do it for this video. Pamela, thank you. This is going to be Ryco signing off. Take it easy, guys.
Take what you want from me.